Welcome to today's video where we're heading over to Thornton Heath to view a 2-bed apartment by a developer called Nodia. So the place I'm actually going to visit today is in Croydon, South London. I think for me, as an original East Londoner, it's definitely going to be a huge change if I was to move down the area. But Croydon do have quite a lot of new builds at the moment, and they're a bit more reasonably priced than some other places I've been seeing. So I thought, you know what, let me go check out the area, check out the property, and I'll let you know how it goes. So my first impression of the apartment was that it looked a lot nicer in person than it did in the pictures I'd seen on the Rightmove website. So I was really happy that I came in to view it. It was very light and very open. It has the floor-to-ceiling windows, as you know, is my thing. There was a lot of light coming in through the living room and also through the bedrooms. So it was a very nice, airy space. There were 2 apartments that we viewed, so both had different vibes but were very, very similar. So the one on the first floor didn't have a corridor and it was all very open, so you could get to every room from kind of the middle living room kitchen area, which was quite nice but also very, very cozy. Upstairs, however, had a corridor leading to all of the separate rooms, so it was almost a little bit more private and spaced out. So I did like the living room. It wasn't the biggest living room that I've seen, but it was a decent size. I like how light and airy it seemed, and you could actually fit quite a lot of things in there. The kitchen was nice and the appliances were actually really good spec. So you had a Bosch oven and hob, which is a really good brand, and you'd also be getting a Hotpoint dishwasher and washing machine. So I was really happy with the appliances, and I like how minimal the kitchen looked. It was probably all the white and the very kind of light floor that made the space seem a lot more open and a lot more airy. I love to use the word airy for this one, but that really is the vibe that I got from it.
That they even give us very prepared. Yeah. That's cool. Bathroom's probably the one thing I'm not loving that much. It's kind of giving me primary school changing vibes.
So I was not the biggest fan of the bathroom, especially the bathroom on the first floor one, just because there were no windows. It seemed very dark. I'm not a fan of small square tiles. If I was to get someone like this, I would 1,000,000% be changing the tiles immediately. But upstairs wasn't so bad. I think having a window really made a difference to how light it looked, and you know, the contrast between the black floor and the white tiles. But yeah, not the biggest fan of the bathrooms. So the bedrooms were interesting. The ones on the first floor were a very strange shape, so they weren't your traditional like square or rectangle, but they were still quite nice. So there was enough space to fit a double in both of them. The bedrooms upstairs, however, were a little bit bigger, I would say, and the master bedroom upstairs, I quite liked how there was already kind of built-in space for a walk-in wardrobe. But I inquired, and actually you could knock down this additional wall if you wanted to, which I would want to create a bit more space in the room. So it's good to know that internally you can change things around.
We are able to go into the balcony this time.
The balcony was quite nice as well. There wasn't really much of a view, but what you can see is that there is lots of street parking for this property. There are no permits or anything like that. It's kind of free for all parking. One thing I also loved was the security aspect. Each flat came with a security system. I was really happy to see that. As an individual kind of living by herself and purchasing by herself, security is definitely a big aspect to consider. The entry phone was just your standard. There is a very efficient heating system set up in all of the flats, so they are substantially cheaper to run than your traditional apartment or flat, which was good to know because we definitely want those bills to stay down. One thing that was mentioned to me that I found really unique for this flat was that it's actually a freehold. So most flats and apartments in the UK are leasehold and they're owned by somebody else, and you've got to pay ground rent. But as a freeholder, it would be a joint freehold. You won't be paying ground rent, you'll only be paying service charge. And as a joint freeholder, you get to decide what management company you want, so you can bring those costs down jointly by appointing a more efficient or a cheaper management company, which I found amazing actually, because that means within the cost of the apartment you're also getting a freehold, which is very rare and very good. The developers for this property are called Nodia. As always, I would urge everybody to do your own research on the developers. The warranty on this one, it's an ICW 10-year warranty. Overall, I quite liked this property. I know I've called it light and airy so many times, but that really is the vibe that I got from it. I was really impressed with the fact that it's a 999-year lease and that it's a freehold, because as I said, you don't really get those too often when it comes to flats. I was also really happy with the security aspect of things, the parking situation, the efficiency of the property. I think this is quite a good one actually.
So we've just come back from seeing the property, and actually it's better than I was expecting. The only issue for me personally is that there is only one bathroom, and I also kind of hate the bathroom a little bit, just the look of it, but that's something that can be easily fixed. What the estate agent did tell me, however, is that there is a ground floor flat still being built, and that flat is going to have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a study. So that's something to look out for, and I think that's going to be in May. So I'm actually going to keep my eye on that. There were some things she said about the property that I really loved. First of all, there's a lot of street parking. So although there's no allocated parking, I didn't have a problem finding a space when I drove up to it. We're right next to a high street, so all your local amenities will be kind of just a short walk away. The station is about 7-minute walk away, and the one thing actually that I loved the most is the energy efficiency. So I think it goes electric and then gas, and then what she said they have, and I think she said it's like an eco electricity thing, and whereas your usual electricity will run at about 11 to 14 pence per kilowatt, this one will run at about 4 to 5 pence per kilowatt. So that will save you actually quite a bit in the long run, especially in winter when you're heating up the house and things like that. But overall, I did really like it, especially upstairs and all the light that came with it. The first flat that we looked at was 350,000 and the flat upstairs was 375. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep my eye on the ground floor flat. That's all from me. So thank you for watching today's episode, and I'll see you on the next one.
Please don't forget to like the video, share the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. See you on the next one.